Stop making characters that are just a copy of your favorite main character. The audience can see right through it, and if they have to choose between your character and one that's already established, they're gonna choose the established character. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing new under the sun, but I'm gonna share with you 6 ways to make your character stand out amongst the crowd of characters. And I'll give you one bonus one at the end. At the end of the day, all of us are fighting for the audience's attention. So the last thing the audience wants to see is a copycat of Itadori or Luffy. Characters are the foundation, the bedrock of a story. And if your characters are weak, you can probably guess that your story is pretty weak too. Number 7. Contradictions. Perhaps my favorite on the list. Contradictions build a more complex character that audiences will never forget. It makes your character stand out amongst the crowd. And it's also called character doubling. It's when you give a character a trait and then you contradict it with an opposing or opposite trait. For example, Naruto is a ninja that wears an orange jumpsuit. Ninja are supposed to wear all black and be shadowy and secret. The Joker is a clown. Clowns are supposed to make people happy. It's supposed to bring them joy. And yet the Joker is sadistic and wants to take people out. Avatar Aang is supposed to be this wise 100-year-old monk. And yet when they see him, he's only a little boy who doesn't know much about the world. Bruce Banner is a scientist. He's very intelligent. And when he turns into the Hulk, he becomes an unthinkable, crazy lunatic. Zezimaru is a money-obsessed peasant who is obsessed with gold, and yet he's unable to touch gold. When he touches it, it turns to rust. A good contradiction subverts trope expectations so that your character isn't cookie cutter or copy and paste. So what contradictions will you give your characters? Let me know in the comments. Number 6, symbolism. Do not skip this one. Symbolism is something that all professionals use. It's a subtle message to the audience. It allows you to say something without actually saying it. It's something used to create a direct comparison to something else. A caterpillar might symbolize growth and rebirth. Fire might symbolize anger. Try to avoid being too on the nose. You want to surprise your reader with something unexpected. Luffy's gum fruit represents freedom. Luffy is as free as he wants to be when he uses this fruit. Naruto is a story that deals with bonds and connections. The spiral symbol, the Uzumaki clan symbol, the Rasengan, the village symbol, all represent that connection. Superman's crest is a symbol of justice, peace, and hope. Light from Death Note's apple, his red apple, represents the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve ate of God's fruit. It's about light playing God by taking other people's lives. You need to use symbols often. It's a great way to say something without actually saying it. So what symbols do you have in your story? Number 5, role. Give your character a job. Your character needs to be working. All of our favorite characters have roles that carry their motivations and goals throughout the story. You not giving your character a role is hurting your writing. Luffy is a pirate. That's how he's pursuing freedom and his goal of the One Piece. Naruto is a ninja. That's how he's pursuing connection and bonds and his goal as Hokage. Superman is a superhero. That's how he's pursuing peace and hope. Aang is the Avatar. That's how he's pursuing balance. I could go on and on about roles in different stories and how they bring out the best in a character, creating conflict and issues to navigate. I have no idea why it's missing in most indie stories, but it is. On my Patreon, I created a worksheet that helps you figure out how to find your story's theme and how to find your character's role. The link is in the bio. The role is usually something the character isn't good at or does not qualify for at the start, but later through conflict, they learn to actually do it. Do you have a role for your character? Let me know what it is. Number 4, objects. This one might surprise you. Give your character an object. You might not have noticed, but most iconic characters have an object that symbolizes them. And in fact, a lot of people in your real life also have objects that symbolize them. And guess what? Characters are people, so your character should probably have a special object. Think about this. Luffy's straw hat, which he received from Shanks, is a symbol of the entire series. Harry Potter's wand is unforgettable. Everyone has seen it. What about Guts and his giant sword, the Dragon Slayer? Give your character something sentimental and important to them, and their role. In my stories as Zezimaru, the protagonist has a gold coin necklace from his father that symbolizes what true value is. The item should be memorable and can be incredibly simple, but it must be emotionally important to the character. Should we forget about Thor's hammer, SpongeBob's spatula, or Squidward's clarinet, Superman's cape, Naruto's headband? Do not skip this part. It has the power to make your story memorable and iconic. It even gives you opportunities for merch. So what symbols will you use in your story? Number 3, character arcs. You would be shocked at how many stories in the indie space skip this point, and then people wonder why their characters are not connecting with the audience. You need a character arc for your characters. A character arc is the point of the story. It's the transformation of your character from one point of view to another. The first point is usually wrong and harmful, and the second point is right and helpful. A well-written character arc shows that a character is changing and growing, and the events in their lives actually matter. It's actually super easy to do, but it's always overlooked. Deku started as a crybaby superhero wannabe, and yet, by the end of the chapter, he had embraced the spirit of a hero. Naruto started as a loudmouth prankster, and yet, at the end of the chapter, he had become a full-fledged ninja. Luffy thought that being a pirate was just being strong and fighting, but he learned that the freedom of a pirate had to do with standing up for what's right and fighting for one's friends. So you have to ask yourself, what character arc will my character go through? And it's not just your main character. Your side characters also need character arcs. So let me know if you've already figured out the arc for your character. Remember, start with something that's a misunderstanding and end with the new correct information. Number 2, triggers. We're getting down to the meat of the matter, but now we have to ask ourselves, what makes my character tick? What is that thing that makes my character's true personality come out and show the audience exactly who they are? What are my character's triggers? It's that thing that pushes them into rage, depression, and maybe even happiness. You can even tie a trigger to the character's object, like we mentioned before. In most shonen stories, the characters have a trigger, so pay attention next time you read and watch an anime or manga. When Luffy's friends have their freedom taken, this hurts Luffy more than usual. When Naruto's connection with his friends are threatened, it hits him like nothing else. Shinji Ikari from Neon Genesis Evangelion is triggered by loneliness and abandonment. Zezimara is triggered by feelings of worthlessness and being called a peasant. Character triggers reveal what's really truly important to them. So have you decided what triggers your character? I want to hear it. Number 1, false remedy. This is the most important thing that I'm going to share with you that I very, very rarely see an indie writer do. A false remedy is the false healing of a character. It's the thing they do that they think is going to heal their core issues, but it makes matters worse. This false remedy brings out the core issue of a character, makes your character more memorable than anything else I listed on this list. It reveals their deeper insecurities and layers the character like nothing else. Think about it. Naruto lacks connection and is lonely, so he acts out. Pulling pranks is his false remedy. Eren Yeager struggles with the pain of his people and death of his mother, and he copes with that by doing things on his own and seeking revenge. Saitama lacks meaning and purpose, so he faces everything with boredom and effortlessness. Sasuke lost his entire clan, and his false remedy is to push everyone who loves him away to seek revenge. False remedies are the most important thing on this list. You should never skip a false remedy. So there we have it, friends. These are the 7 things you can do to make your story stand out, your characters more memorable, and your characters more iconic. Do not skip a single one of them. I swear you will regret it. I'm going to share more storytelling tips, so make sure you are subscribed, like the video, join the Patreon, and I have a video on character roles like we mentioned earlier before. So this video is going to show you how to find your character's role. You don't want to miss this. So thank you guys so much. Check out the worksheet I put on the Patreon, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.